Welcome back to atCAMS. Today we have another great opportunity for you to get to know what is going on in the auto industry, guys. And I told you guys yesterday that today the Raptor was coming, and like every Wednesday we have Mike Hayworth.
What's up, Oz?
How you doing, Mike?
Hey. Good.
This is a wonderful day, Mike.
It's my favorite day of the week.
It's Wednesday.
I love Wednesdays.
It's the belly of the week.
I love it.
Belly button of the week. And I love it. and we got a treat today because Ford is pleasing us and everybody else with their biggest treat, the Ford Raptor 2021. What do you think about the Raptor, Mike?
I'm going to be honest. I'm a little underwhelmed that they didn't come out with the V8 ready. We'll talk about that in a minute, but I think it's a good vehicle for Ford. I think it definitely needed it. I'm excited about what it's going to do for that market, and it's going to push Dodge to now make some choices. I think it was. I like that code orange that they came out with. I think that's what that car is going to be called. Great looking car. I'm sorry, truck.
Hey, but it's still a car, but people in the U.S. only calls it a truck, and we're gonna get a lot of hate if we call it a car. But anyways,
no. But I think overall, I think it was a good start for Ford. I wish they would have put a little bit more information out there, but at the same time, I kind of like the digging for stuff right now. It's smart on Ford's part. People are going to talk about it, and every time they release more information, it'll keep that buzz going. But overall, not a bad start for Ford with the new Raptor.
I will say that they have made a statement every single time they come with a Raptor. The first generation, second generation, I had the opportunity to actually do a video on it. Not one, 3 videos on it. And this generation, I think, is gonna be It's kind of like way up in your face. The front end, like we see it right here in the picture, that famous color that you just mentioned is kind of like a Vulcan reddish color. It's very cool, but I don't know, the front end, I still rather go for the TRX, for the Ram T-Rex, than the Raptor. I don't know, probably needs to grow on me. It's just the first time I ever seen it, but it looks like a lot. What do you think? It's like
it does
right there. It's like.
But I will say I've got a great friend that has a 2012 Raptor, the 6.2 liter V8, great truck. Love that truck. It's been a workhorse for him. I got to say I like the changes that they've done to the front end of that truck. It's subtle, but I like what Ford has done with the front. I think it looks a lot better. I'm with you. I still think the T-Rex looks nicer overall. And I didn't expect big changes from Ford. I mean, they're pretty traditional with some of their moves when they're going from one model to the next. It's more of a reboot than a completely redo. But I think it's a good move for them. I think the timing's right. And I gotta say, I love this part of it. If people have been paying attention to when the T-Rex was released and its promo video that Dodge first put out, and then they've seen what Ford has done, the back and forth between Ford and Dodge and the poking fun at each other. I've loved it. That has been the most entertaining part for me. You know, Dodge comes out with the T-Rex with Mr. Sandman, and here comes Ford today with Enter Sandman from Metallica. Great stuff by Ford. I love it. I love that going back and forth. But I am a little disappointed that Chevy and Toyota and Nissan aren't gonna jump into this market.
Watch it. You're asking for trouble, especially if it comes from Japan. Japan always try to get it right, even though they take 25 years later. That's what they normally do. But they normally come.
Well, and they're not big horsepower.
Yeah, not horsepower is always big.
Horsepower.
Yeah, it's always gonna be conservative. Japan, they have their own ways, but.
Come on, Chevy. Here's the challenge. It's been thrown out. Let's go.
Chevy, I mentioned that in the yesterday video that Chevy needs to come with a souped up Silverado, maybe the Reaper. Like they had a Silverado a couple of years ago that they call it the Reaper. I never ever.
And
heard
Chevy's
of it
done
again,
some cool specialized trucks in the past. They've done some great models. I just wish that they would jump into this.
Yeah.
I think the consumer wins. I think we all win because we're getting some cool products. Whether you're a Ford guy or a Dodge guy or a Chevy guy, if you're not excited about these new trucks that are coming out, go get a Corolla.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yep, I said it. I
He
said
said it. Go and get a Corolla. Ooh, guys. Ooh, hate.
it. But I will say I like the new Corolla that's coming out, the little
The
hatchback.
GR, yeah, the
When we
GR.
talk about the GR, that's a great car.
That,
But
that's another
that's a
day's.
different video.
Yeah, that's a different video. But this one, man, like the Raptor. What I'm liking about the pickup trucks world in the United States is that they have taken things to the next level. Where we only imagined back in the days when I was in probably high school, middle school era, when you get to see all those Baja trucks that they were custom made by your neighbor. Like they just gonna go and cut the fenders and cut the sides of the truck and lift them up and put a lot of crazy stuff and superchargers and turbo engines on it. And then they just were just going for it. And now you can have this from factory. This is like so real.
Yeah.
And it's 2021. This is the future. When I don't know if you remember Back to the Future movies when they were saying in 2021 we will have something completely different, and we still have the same trucks, the same cars, but so much better. It's like 10, 12 notches higher and better than we could ever imagine. And now a truck is a luxury vehicle. It's even better than some sports cars, and it could be your sports car, your all-wheel drive off-roader, and also your luxury vehicle. What the world? No, man. Like,
Oh yeah, it's insane to me. Growing up in San Diego, I spent a lot of time out in the desert. We loved to go out there and off road, and back in the day, we'd had three wheelers before four wheelers. Spent a lot of time out there as a kid, and I can remember being in friends' garages and trying to get their trucks, and we called them at that time pre-running trucks. Little two-wheel drive, usually a little Toyota or a
yeah.
little Ford Ranger, and we would get the cheapest stuff we could get our hands on just to lift a little bit and get it out in the desert. Those things were probably the most unsafe vehicles I've ever been in. But the fact that you could go down to the dealer right now and buy this Ford Raptor, or soon by this summer, this Ford Raptor, and you could take it and go blast around the desert and still have it be covered under factory warranty. That's insane to me.
Yeah. And
It's like a dream world.
it's a dream world. And the thing is, I don't know if you remember. You probably remember because you were a car enthusiast and a truck enthusiast back then. The truck's interior were sucky, dude. Like nothing. Yes. And look at this, guys. Like the state of the art interior infotainment system looks off the charts. The materials in the interior.
I'm excited about this new interior.
Oh my God, dude. Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Look at that, guy.
We just talked in our last video about the T-Rex and its interior.
Yeah.
I think this Ford is it's going to give it a run for its money.
I think the T-Rex still, in materials and quality materials, I think I personally, in my opinion, my humble opinion, I think the T-Rex has the better materials. Well, I haven't seen this in the flesh, but I can see the technology that this one comes with is respectable. The infotainment system is big. Yes. It still has the knobs and the physical buttons, and now the digital cluster. I think, and now they said that the Recaro seats are going to be an option in some of the versions of the Raptor. I think it's going to be close to, or probably better. I cannot tell because I haven't seen it in the flesh, but more than likely it's going to be better. And who knows? Who knows? We don't.
Well,
we don't know.
Here's where I think Ford has the advantage in this between the Raptor and the T-Rex is the T-Rex is 6 months old. The Raptor's been out since what, 2011, 2012?
Yeah.
Dodge has got a lot of catch up to do. Yeah, they've put a nice looking vehicle out there right now, and it's got some great specs. But Ford has the history and the development with this vehicle, and so I think Ford is going to have a little bit of an advantage with this. Like I said earlier, the Dodge still has the horsepower king until 2022 when the new I think, as you know, Ford kind of alluded there at the end with that R in the sand at kind of the closing clip of a Raptor R, that I'm fully expecting that supercharged V8 out of the GT500. I think they'll detune it a little bit. I don't think it's going to put the same horsepower, but I guarantee you it's going to be more horsepower than what the Dodge has.
And that's their goal. And that's the muscle truck war that is
Oh my
right
gosh.
now coming up next.
Yep.
It's just Ram right now trolling the V6 from Raptor. But just sit and watch the game, guys, because this is about to get hot and nasty. And that's what we like.
Here's what's going to be interesting. What'll be interesting to see, because right now Dodge has that very small niche market with the T-Rex.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of people, honestly, that are going to go out and going to dump money on an 80,000 plus truck that gets 5 miles a gallon if you drive it like it deserves to be driven.
Yeah.
Where Ford has the advantage is they're still going to start out with that 3.5 twin turbo V6 that's in the current Raptor. It'll probably bump the horsepower and the torque up a little bit for this next year because, as we know, horsepower and torque tend to not go down from model year to model year. So I expect a little bit of a boost. Would I be surprised to see the technology from the Aviator that's putting out almost 500 horsepower? I would not be surprised to see that in the next year or two. But I think Dodge is missing out on that market. Right now, you can get into a Raptor for mid 50s, maybe upper 50s. And get a respectable truck, even with the new one. I don't expect the new one to start out for any less than about 58, which is about 3 or so more than the current one.
Yeah.
Dodge doesn't have a competitor to that.
No.
You either go with the regular Ram or you jump up to the T-Rex. There's no middleman in there. So it'll be interesting to see in the next year or two if Dodge comes out with maybe taking that motor that's out of the Challenger, put a Scat Pack motor in a T-Rex body. You're still putting out over 400 horsepower. You're going to get a good truck, but you're going to be a little more competitive with that mid-range Raptor right now. I don't know. It's interesting. I kind of like this. And I think, unfortunately, though, I think this is going to be the end of big power trucks like this with gas engines. I think that the technology is going to move on in another 5-6 years. I don't know if you're going to see that. I think there's I think that's where we're going. Ford's already got them out there. That Aviator that I'm talking about with the turbo boost hybrid, putting out almost 500 horsepower. I mean, that's pretty good numbers. 600 plus pound-feet of torque. That's nothing to shake your head at. I mean, those are good numbers. So I think that's where it's going. But man, I still love these big V8s.
And nothing to not love them about, because I don't know. We have the other day I was listening to one of the subscribers, not listening, reading into the comments, and they said that the United States has this unique way of caravanning around the states. Like, it's so much vast country land that you need a V8 to go from coast to coast and comfortably and able to or capable to hold over 5,000-6,000 pounds. If you're actually moving from New York to California or from Florida to Oregon, right? And that's the kind of caravanning that we do in the United States that we don't do probably in Italy. We don't do probably in Germany, because people don't have that kind of lifestyle. They don't move quite often. People here are born and raised normally in the same town, and they die, work, and do everything in that same town. But in the United States, we do have that. And now that Rivian R1T is coming, which is the truck, then Hummer truck is coming too. Then the other companies are aiming, like the Cybertruck from Tesla, and other companies are coming also with electric vehicles or electric trucks. My biggest I will say concern right now, if I am going to buy a truck or even a regular car, which has what the real thing that has keeping me from buying one right now as we speak, is that the battery and the electric technology has not been able to nail how does the battery behave in extreme weather, in the hottest weather or in the coldest weather. And it has been proven that batteries lose 20 to up to 40%. I am not sure. Don't quote me on that. Don't quote me on that, guy.
But it is
But
a
it's a
significant loss
yes.
in weather extremes. Absolutely.
Yeah, and it's true. Like, oh yeah, we had to keep your cabin warm in the cold weather or cold in the hot weather. But guess what? Hybrids, they don't suffer that much on extreme weathers. Yeah, I do have a hybrid. This is my I had a Prius 2012, CT200 2014, Lexus RX 450h, and now the other Prius 2017. Four hybrids in my lifespan, and if you see 10% drop in the hottest summer and 10% drop in the coldest winter, that's a lot. That's a lot. They're
It
still
is. It
more
is.
reliable. They still give you more MPG and more like distance than anything else. And then I was watching this, Mike, and I don't know if you watched this video from Engineering Explained. I like that guy a lot. He has really good information. And the other day he was talking about he owns a Tesla Model 3, and he did an experiment in the summer, and he drove 2,000 miles in the summer. And then he did the same road trip, the exact same road trip in the winter, just now, like a week ago. And
Mm-hmm.
this guy is legit, guys. This is, to me, if you want to know numbers, you go to Engineer Explained, and he got you. That's it. So he was talking about how much his Tesla Model 3 lost, the range that he lost just overnight because it was 7 degrees Fahrenheit. And that's crazy.
Yes.
That's crazy. I don't really want to go through that. And on top of that, a trip that should have taken him 30 hours, it took him 38 hours because it's not just the drive, it's also the
Oh yes.
charging time. And the charging time upped
Mm-hmm.
his travel 8 hours extra, which in a regular car, in a regular hybrid, and a regular gas car, you probably will have travel in 31 hour.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't,
no,
I,
absolutely. I
I don't
think
know.
I don't know that we're going to see a truck like the Raptor, like the T-Rex. I don't think we're going to see a performance model like that anytime soon with full electric. I think that's going to probably be some kind of a hybrid system. And it's proven. Just, I mean, look at how many performance cars have a hybrid system in them right now. It's proven technology at this point, and it works. Um, I hope I'm wrong, but I think that we're coming to the end of some of these big super trucks. Don't get me wrong, I absolutely love them,
Me
and if I
too.
could have them both, I would certainly have both of them tomorrow. For me, I would almost rather have that than the equivalent supercar.
Oh
Don't get
yeah,
me wrong, I
definitely.
love my Porsches, I love my Ferraris. I think they're great. The Porsche I would much rather have to daily drive. The Ferrari just is great to listen to and look at. Not
Yeah,
very practical on a day
yeah.
to day basis, but um, put me in a 700 horsepower pickup truck that I can rip around wherever I want, and I can drive it through the desert and do anything I want with it. That's a win win. I mean, yeah, you're going to pay for it in the gas, but I'm sorry, if you love cars, I know there's going to be some people that disagree with me and with some of the technologies, but you don't buy a performance car for gas mileage.
No, you don't.
You buy them to enjoy them. And I think that's what these trucks are. I think these are maybe a dying breed. But man, I love them.
Well,
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
these are exciting times because this is something that has no precedent till the Ford Raptor. And now we are living this today and we can see it in the flesh. And they are going at it as is there's no tomorrow. And it's what we need today because in the next 10 years, governments around the world are like, they're trying to just get rid of gas engines or combustion engines vehicles altogether. And these are the best times right now to live in. I think that Raptors and Rangers and TRX and Silverados, Reapers, and all those kind of trucks are the luxury trucks of today, and tomorrow they're going to be the classic vehicles. Right now, how many trucks that you know, Mike, are classic today? I think that the very, very old ones, like the 1960s and 50s,
Oh yeah,
but
you've
there are not many
probably
trucks classic.
the newest classic. Hmm. I think you've probably got to go back into maybe the late 70s, early 80s. You're starting to see kind of a rebirth of those bodies right now, just because they're not super expensive. Parts are very easy to get, and you just see a ton of people that are slamming them, putting big rims on them. Um,
But
Still hard to complain
I
about a nice big
I
V8 in them, but yeah, I agree with you. I think these are future classics.
I cannot mention you one by name right now because, and if you ask me about classic muscle cars, I can tell you like three or four right away, right off the bat. If you ask me about classic vehicles in general, I can give you probably 10 to 15. But trucks, not many, not many. Probably I'm wrong. And if you guys know some of them, drop it in the comments down below. But these are gonna be the future classics. The Raptors,
Oh,
especially the
I
first
agree.
generation V8, second generation for what it is, and the third generation when the Raptor R comes up. I believe that's gonna be the one that is gonna be sought after in the future, especially
Oh,
when
absolutely.
we don't have any more gas or combustion engines in
Yeah.
the
Well, and Ford's saying right now that
generation.
Raptor R is going to be a limited release. But I think what's going to happen is they're going to do like they've done with the Mach E, which originally was coming out in a small number of a small production run, and the interest just has driven that production run up and up and up. And I think you're going to see more people going after that big V8 in the Ford Raptor. It's exciting. I mean, I love that. I love those trucks. I think it's a great vehicle.
I,
Not practical from a gas mileage standpoint, but oh my gosh, it's just a great vehicle.
Yeah, but not for us who are like white collar workers. We are probably the guys who probably cannot like afford this when they're like in the used market. Especially me, I will not even
Yes.
try to go for something like this anytime soon. But if you think about this, remember back in the 90s and the early 2000s where the actors and singers and rappers and all these guys with high money and athletes were buying like Escalades and big SUVs and stuff. Now they're going for Bugattis and Rolls Royce and all this stuff. Watch them coming back to this. Watch them coming
Yeah.
back to this
Oh,
because
I agree.
they don't like a 6'6" person player athlete or big guy like me and you and I, we're big guys. We're not gonna be comfortable in a Lambo. We will never gonna be comfortable in a Lambo. I drove a Lambo here and I made a video and I have not posted it because I look ridiculous inside of it. And I look like an elephant inside of a peanut car. And I love the car. And now I get it. Now I get it. Why?
Yeah, no. Those are great cars to look at, but they're not super practical. I agree with you. I think you're going to see a lot of people with money come to these vehicles. They're special. I mean, I don't care what the horsepower rating is on, just the capabilities that they have in terms of the ability to be great on the road, but find that dirt road that you love, and it'll blast down that dirt road all day long, and with smiles on your face. It's a lot of fun. I like seeing the progression that Ford is making with this. I'm glad to see them finally get rid of that solid rear end. Welcome to the 1990s, Ford. It's been a long time coming,
Yeah.
but Chevy did the same thing with the Corvette. I mean, how long did they run with
Lift
with that rear
suspension.
end on that Corvette?
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, it's proven technology, and it's one of those things that it's fairly inexpensive to manufacture, and
Yeah.
they've got to look at bottom line. But I'm excited to see them finally get rid of that. It's some again. I don't think it's a major shift in the Raptor. I think it's the continuation in the line, but I think Ford's gone in a good direction with it.
Yeah. And I will probably we're gonna have wrap guys, this is life. We're gonna have to wrap it up. and I will leave it here with the question of the day. Do you think that the Raptor and the Ram TRX are gonna become the classics of these times? The modern classic vehicle of these times? What do you think, Mike? I believe that. I'm 100% sure.
I do.
These are gonna be.
And I think that, oh, absolutely, because I think if you say that a classic is a vehicle that people are still going to want to buy in 10, 15 years, Absolutely. I don't think you're going to see too many Raptors. I don't care what generation sitting on a used car lot somewhere that are going to last very long unless they're just trashed. I don't. I think they're still good vehicles, and I think that there's enough people that have wanted them for a long time. And as the used market gets a little more saturated with some of those and those prices come down, absolutely. I think you're going to see Raptors and this T Rex. I think you're going to see those kinds of vehicles on the road for a long, long time. And I think they're going to still continue to be highly sought after.
I would definitely agree with you on this one. Pickup trucks are the luxury cars of nowadays. People are trading Mercedes, BMWs, Lexus for this kind of trucks, this kind of vehicles. No questions to ask. So I will see you guys on the next video, and I hope you enjoyed this. And if you like this video, please like, subscribe, and share this video with your friends, family, and everybody else. And we will see you next week. Say goodbye to your people, Mike.
See ya. Y'all have a good week. Stay safe. Be healthy.
Stay safe, guys.